what DuckDuckGo here, as Vivian said, is brilliant. I would advise them not to put a beaver logo on their glasses lest they get sued by Buc-ee's.
A lot can happen in a week. Some of it good, some of it bad, some of it downright ugly. When faced with intriguing developments in the week's news, we turn to a rotating panel of non-experts to parse the good, the bad, and the ugly of it all. On today's panel, Charles Kuffner, who writes the off-the-cuff political blog, Vivian Ho, health economist at Rice University and Baylor College of Medicine, and David Branham, professor of political science at the University of Houston downtown. Charles, Vivian, David, welcome to Houston Matters.
Thank you, Craig.
Thanks, Craig.
Panel, Texas Governor Greg Abbott Monday issued a directive to pause any connections to the Texas power grid by new data centers until state regulators can collect information on how much water and power they'd use. As Houston Public Media's Natalie Weber reported this week, ERCOT, the state's electric grid traffic cop, says about 90% of the demand from large energy consumers in Texas comes from data centers. Democratic gubernatorial candidate Gina Hinojosa, meanwhile, is criticizing the governor for the apparent about-face. She notes Abbott, quote, spent recent months branding Texas the epicenter of AI development and championing the industry. Governor Abbott now wants to know how much power and water they'll use before new data centers connect to the grid. Is this good, bad, or ugly? Charles Kuffner.
I mean, it's good for us. It's good for Gina Hinojosa. It's not so good for Greg Abbott, who has basically left giant skid marks on the earth as he has frantically braked and tried to reverse course from his, deep love affair with with these things. Look, one could ask, why is it we didn't know about the impact, or at least possible impact, of all these data centers before they were permitted? I mean, it's not a great mystery. It's known that they're big energy and water hogs. We have some idea of how many of them are applying for permits. Shouldn't be that hard to have added up the numbers and come up with a reasonable figure. In fact, I think I've seen figures for projected electrical use out there. It way exceeds the total amount that ERCOT has capacity for now if they all come to fruition, which they won't, but still. I mean, the scale is enormous. So, Hinojosa and others, including incumbent but ousted in the primary, thanks to the backing of Greg Abbott, Agricultural Commissioner Sid Miller, has pointed out that, Abbott could, call a special session of the legislature to pass laws to address these things right now. He has that power, and he has no shyness in calling special sessions when it suits his needs, but he won't. And the reason I think, and they think, and others think, why he's just doing what he's doing now and not taking more substantive action is because this is all an electoral ploy. Once we're past November, it'll be back to usual. So, it's, like I said, it's good for now, but there's not real action yet.
All right. Good, bad, or ugly. Vivian Ho.
Oh, I agree with Charles. The whole thing is very ugly, the reverse course. And what worries me is that even though a review has been requested, we don't hear the criteria that they're going to use to approve. Of course, if you add this much power, there's huge amounts of infrastructure that have to be invested. So are we going to judge this based on, will these data centers pay for all the fixed costs, the infrastructure to transmit all this electricity? Are we going to have numbers? What sort of value are we going to place on the residents who are directly going to be affected? We need to know what the decision criteria are in order to make good decisions.
Okay. Good, bad, or ugly. David Branham.
Well, I have to disagree. So I think right now it's good, because I think Greg Abbott's basically pulling back because he needs to know more information before he goes forward. Right now, Texas water use on data centers is less than 1% of the total water use. And that means that the governor's saying, look, I see there's a possibility in the future that we're going to have an issue. Let's step back and make sure that we take care of this before we go forward. Yes, he's always been very, very dynamic in making sure that Texas is an open place for business to come in. But when things are a problem, he's stepping back and saying, look, this may be a problem. We need to make sure that we're okay. We don't want to turn into Corpus Christi. where they don't have enough resources to actually supply the people they invited in for their industry. So I think this is a good move on the governor's part. I think the criticism of it is purely ideological. I think administrative-wise, this is a wise way to go. He hasn't really made any mistakes here, other than saying, "Okay, I have this vision that I want Texas to be the data center capital of the United States." But now that he sees what's going on, he wants to make sure doing that will not put us in jeopardy going forward.
Well, he's seeing a lot of poll numbers that show very high levels of opposition to data centers, including from some very Republican places where the locals complain that they don't have any power to even find out about what plans there are until they happen. So I'd say that the only reason he's taking this action at all is because he can read a poll. And if it weren't for all the noise and all of the agitation, all of the ideological opposition, he wouldn't have a thing to say.
Well, the reason why it's a lot of Republicans is because these data centers are going up in rural areas. That's the prime area for them. You're not going to put a data center in downtown Houston. So, the opposition is they're coming in and it's externality. I mean, they do make noise. They do impose on a community, but he wants to make sure that he's doing this correctly. So I just disagree. I think he's stepping back because he sees a possibility of things going wrong in the future, and he wants to make sure things are going well.
Panel, last week, the internet search company DuckDuckGo put out a new product in partnership with San Diego-based eyewear company Knockaround, a pair of sunglasses, which TechSpot's Alfonso Maruccia writes are designed to respect privacy in an AI-saturated world. As such, they are, in fact, just ordinary sunglasses. No added features, no video recording, no generative AI, no battery, no external power sources, no electronics of any kind. What a novel concept, a tech company making something with no tech. And they are named appropriately normal effing sunglasses. And yes, they are selling a lot. In fact, DuckDuckGo reports the product sold out in under a week. They are taking pre-orders now for the next batch. An internet search company in a satirical stunt rolls out ordinary sunglasses and finds that's just what the public wants. Is this good, bad, or ugly, Vivian?
Oh, I think it's good. It's very clever marketing by DuckDuckGo. They're not out to make money selling sunglasses. This is about making the public take a closer look at the company and their emphasis on privacy during search. It's terrific. Hats off to them.
All right. David?
I'm going to say good. I mean, I'm a market guy, that I like this, but I like that people get what they want, but I don't really understand it. I mean, it's a regular pair of sunglasses. The one thing that a lot of people may be trying to do is get the look where they look like they have the high-tech sunglasses. They're videoing everything around them and so forth, because people act better around you if they think they're being videotaped. I mean, a lot of people are very disturbed by the fact that everything they do in public may end up on YouTube. The reality is a lot of people, though, love the ability to control their environment around them and the behavior in their environment by saying, okay, maybe I'm showing you videotaping you on my phone, my glasses, excuse me. So I'd like that maybe this is a way to do it. I mean, a lot of people like the fact that there's a lot of things that can't go wrong anymore that could go wrong before, because everything is being seen. And I like that. I like that when you're in public, you're being seen, and that you can't get away with bad behavior in the process. So I think a lot of people may be using these glasses to kind of make it look like they're actually videoing everything around them.
See, we don't need sunglasses like that because you're on YouTube right now. Good, bad, or ugly, Charles?
Yeah, and I don't know if being on YouTube affects any of our behavior. Being that I think it's good. It's brilliant marketing. I personally think that all of the glasses that do videotape, I mean, there's no tape involved, you know what I mean, that records and broadcasts and streams
Showing
everything.
My age, yes.
Yeah, well, I'm right there with you, I'm afraid. I think there should be a law passed that mandates that a light go on over their head saying that they're engaged in video right now because a lot of these people have found ways to prevent the glasses from, turning on the little light that's supposed to signal that they're videoing, which, defeats the purpose of trying to make people behave better. I will just add one more thing, which is that while I believe what DuckDuckGo here, as Vivian said, is brilliant, I would advise them not to put a beaver logo on their glasses lest they get sued by Buc-ee's.
Always a good tip. Finally, panel, an historic moment took place inside the medieval Burkhardi Church in Halberstadt, Germany this week. On Wednesday, a small organ in the church performed a chord change from 7 notes to 8. Yeah, that's really it. Let me explain, though. For almost 25 years now, this organ has been playing the same piece of music by composer John Cage very, very, very slowly. So far, it's completed only about 4% of the piece, designed to last 639 years in all. Anneli Borgman, chairwoman of the John Cage Organ Project Halberstadt's Board of Trustees, tells the AP, as fast as our world is developing, I think it's a wonderful place to be and to come to yourself and just to be touched by this thing being there. Those familiar with some of Cage's other avant-garde compositions may not be surprised by this work. Cage famously wrote a piece called 433, in which musicians performing the work do nothing but sit in silence for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. A chord change in a German church is celebrated this week. Now just 614 years left to complete the work that the organ is playing. Is this good, bad, or ugly, David?
I hate to put a label on this because I'll be honest, I don't understand this. This is crazy. And we did show Charles, last time when we were talking about people. Voices, right? Voices that are being transformed through AI to preserve people's lives forever. And he said, no, we should have this turnover. We should have, an evolution of life and so forth. This is a way for John Cage. I think he passed away in 1992.
Yeah.
This is a way for John Cage to live for 600 years. And, and it's almost like he's sitting back and laughing and going, okay, you're going to say my name, every year when the note changes for the next 600 years, and I'll live forever. So I don't get it. So I'm tempted to say ugly, but I hate to say ugly on things that I really don't understand. So I'm going to say I am very skeptical.
Fair enough. Good, bad, or ugly, Charles?
I mean, it's art, man. It's art, and I approve of that. I just can't help but I can't help shake the feeling that they're rushing the tempo just a little. I feel like it shouldn't have.
Well, maybe they should start over.
I feel like this note wasn't supposed to have happened until like next Thursday or so. But I'm a musician myself. It's really slow tempos and low volume are the hardest things to achieve. So I will give them some grace. This is good, no matter how you look at it, and it is art.
I am waiting for a conductor 300 years from now to walk into that church and say, nope, not quite right. Let's take it from the top.
From the top.
Good, bad, or ugly, Vivian?
Yeah, I mean, it's good that there are these people who are so enthusiastic about it, and they travel to this church just to hear the note change or something like that. So it's great that there's these people who get the joy out of this. I used to be a musician, and so the bad part of me, I just have no patience. And I'm just kind of like, would you just give me a link so I can listen to what the song was supposed to sound like?
And this is why slower tempos are hard.
But it doesn't, I don't think it sort of conveys what the actual piece is supposed to sound like. I don't think he ever intended it when he wrote it to last as long. Someone else did that.
It does remind me a little bit of Antonio Gaudi designing La Sagrada Familia, the cathedral in Barcelona with the 500-year building plan or something like that. The whole idea of creating something that will live on well beyond you and anybody that you know. It's kind of cool, and it's.
Well, I like that a lot better. I'll be honest.
Exactly. Yeah, you can go there and see the difference.
Yes.
From one visit to another.
I hope someone has published a schedule of when the next changes will occur, in the way that we know when Halley's Comet will show up next.